From above, the full-scale reveal. Forbes underwater as the flood peaks.
So we're in a bit of trouble around here. We think it might have just be easing off now.
The final watermark just below the 1952 level at 10.68 metres. Enough to bring some unlikely visitors to the local Mitre 10.
Holy look at the size of this yabbie. Oh my God, buddy, you're a ripper.
The federal government's $3 billion flood support swallowed by relentless damage costs. And now the minister wants new laws forbidding floodplain development.
What we need to do at a minimum is stop approving developments in areas that we know are going to flood.
But the Mayor of Forbes isn't having it.
We certainly don't need federal government or state government coming in over the top of us. We know the rules. We know not to build on a floodplain. Stupidity. It's about managing the water so this doesn't happen.
Some residents here are getting letters from insurance companies mid-flood telling them their policies will be cut off next month.
In the middle of all of this is what's happening with insurance companies, and then to blanket us at 2871 with no insurance is a disgrace.
This GP clinic in the Forbes CBD wasn't insured and is now underwater. Dr. Richard Draper is cut off on the other side of town. So it's telehealth from the kitchen bench.
This is not the first rodeo for people in Forbes. The town's used to getting flooded and chopped in half, albeit not as bad as this.
And spare a thought for the clinic's nurse, Nadine Moxie, who lives further west in a place called Bajerabong. It's been flooded on and off for the better part of 4 months.
I guess the best way to talk about it for me would be fatigue. Bajerabong's been isolated from Forbes through most of the ways to town, so we're kind of like completely isolated at the moment.
Nadine spent today baking a birthday cake for her son. There's been no chance to shop for a present.
Poor Will, he was hoping for some special dinner, but we'll have to see what's left in the freezer.
Drone footage reveals why this exhausted and largely forgotten community of just a few hundred people has needed food and supplies choppered in for weeks. The Governor-General in the region to inspect the damage, surveying natural disasters, now almost a full-time commitment. Seen a lot of this year.
Well, yeah, you're not wrong. A lot of communities been hit. It's just the response of the community is brilliant, and we should be really proud of the quality of the Australian people and how they respond to this.
You feel proud?
Very, but very sad for the communities here.
And Hamish joins us now from Forbes. Hame, thankfully the flood peak hasn't reached that record level that was feared yesterday, but has the water started to recede?
Not to any great extent, Lisa, and in fact it peaked just below that 1952 level, so still pretty high. And extraordinarily, the authorities are saying at the moment that it'll stay at that peak through until into the weekend. So for this community, that means a lot of logistics over the next few days. I should also point out that in some of the communities outside of Forbes, the level peaked beyond that 1952 level this morning at Condobolin, also Cottons Weir and Newbelong. So by any measure, this is a very big flood for this region.
Yeah, it doesn't have to be a record to be devastating, Hamish, and like you don't have to be a big town to be suffering hugely. This Bajerabong story, I'd not heard of it. It's extraordinary that they're basically been flooded for 4 months. Is there any end in sight for a place like that?
At this point, Waleed, not, because it's the reason that it's been going through these recurring floods for 4 months is not just the rain, it's also the way the water is managed through dam release. So we've been hearing about the big release of water in this region that sort of led to what we've seen this week. That's been going on at much smaller scale for months, but extraordinarily for weeks on end, the teachers in the school have been taken in, day out, so that the school could keep teaching the kids. Nursing staff have been driving these enormous journeys, sometimes 4 or 5 hours return to get into work so that the doctor's surgeries here could keep working. What these people are going through at the moment is very difficult to put into words with one single story, but I feel that that particular community gives us a sense of what it's like in these towns that often do get forgotten.
Hamish, can you tell us any more about this postcode lottery that insurers are playing with flood-affected communities?
So 2871, that's the postcode for Forbes. It's a pretty big community, but they've all started, according to the local Facebook pages where they've been going off all day today, to receive these letters from the insurers or calls in some circumstances saying we won't give you new policies. There's been some reporting about people being told from next month. So there's a lot of people really angry with the insurance companies at the moment. I did ask the Mayor about it though. She said this does happen in these instances, and I get in touch with the Insurance Council and give them what for, and they generally back down. So we can expect to see the local Mayor probably making some calls about this, because to receive those sorts of letters when you're in the middle of this, it seems a little callous, you've got to admit.
If not completely cruel. Hamish, thanks so much. Stay safe.
Thanks, guys.